We have all seen someone at the gym who looks absolutely massive, muscles bulging, veins popping. Yet they seem to struggle with basic functional movements. Then, on the other hand, you see a gymnast or a martial artist who looks relatively lean in a t-shirt, but when they move, they display a level of freakish strength that seems to defy the laws of physics. Welcome to Dr. Levitas. The difference isn't just about how much they eat or how often they train. It's about the type of muscle they've built. In the fitness world, we often chase size as a proxy for health, but size can be an illusion. Today, we're going deep into the world of dense muscle. We are moving past the puffy look of traditional bodybuilding and exploring the steel cables of the human body. If you want a body that is functionally bulletproof, metabolically expensive, and built to last a lifetime, you need to understand the power of myofibrillar hypertrophy. Please like the video and leave a comment. Your engagement is a big help to the channel. Let's start with the fundamental question: what is myofibrillar hypertrophy, and why does it build dense, hard muscle rather than puffy muscle? Most people think muscle growth is just muscle growth. But there are actually two distinct ways your muscle cells can get bigger. Imagine a water balloon filled with small steel cables. If you want to make that balloon bigger, you have two choices. You can pump more water into the balloon. That's sarcoplasmic hypertrophy. Or you can pack more steel cables into it. That's myofibrillar hypertrophy. The sarcoplasm is the fluid, the fuel for the muscle, containing glycogen and water. Building this fluid makes the muscle look puffy and large, but it doesn't necessarily make it stronger. Myofibrils, however, are the actual contractile units, the machinery that does the pulling. A landmark 2024 review in the Journal of Strength and Conditioning Research highlighted that myofibrillar growth focuses on the structural density of the fiber. When you build dense muscle, you are physically packing more contractile hardware into the same amount of space. This creates that hard-as-rock feel to the muscle and provides a level of functional power that fluid-filled muscle simply cannot match. If myofibrils are the goal, how do we get them? Specifically, how does training in the heavy, lower representative ranges physically add more actin and myosin contractile filaments? To grow the steel cables, you have to subject them to high mechanical tension. When you lift a weight that is heavy enough to limit you to, say, 3 to 6 repetitions, your body realizes that its current hardware is insufficient. Inside your myofibrils, there are two primary proteins, actin and myosin. These are the sliding filaments that grab onto each other to create a contraction. A study published in Nature Communications in late 2023 detailed how high-load tension triggers mechanosensors in the muscle cell. These sensors tell the cell to manufacture more actin and myosin strands. Think of it as upgrading a bridge from 2 lanes to 4. By training heavy with the intent of moving the weight forcefully, you are forcing the body to lay down more structural protein. This isn't a temporary swelling, it is a permanent architectural upgrade to your muscular system. You are literally becoming more human per square inch of muscle. This is the most frustrating part of fitness for many. You take a week off, and you feel like you've lost half your progress. But that's usually because you were chasing the pump. Why is this specific type of muscle growth practically permanent compared to the temporary size of a fluid-based pump? The pump is just temporary metabolic stress, blood and fluid rushing into the muscle to manage waste products. Once the workout is over, that fluid eventually drains away. However, myofibrillar growth involves myonuclear addition. When you build dense muscle through heavy tension, your muscle cells recruit satellite cells to donate their nuclei to the muscle fiber. Research from the University of Oslo, updated in 2025, has shown that once these myonuclei are added to your muscle, they stay there for a very, very long time, potentially for life. This is the biological basis for muscle memory. Even if you stop training for a month, the structural actin and myosin filaments and their accompanying nuclei remain. You might lose the water weight, but your steel cables stay intact. This makes myofibrillar growth the ultimate investment for long-term health. You are building a foundation that doesn't evaporate the moment you take a vacation. A common fear, especially for those new to health, is getting too big. But how does dense muscle drastically increase your resting metabolic rate without adding huge, restrictive bulk? Dense, myofibrillar muscle is metabolically expensive. Muscle protein is constantly being broken down and rebuilt in a process called protein turnover. This turnover requires energy. Because dense muscle has more protein filaments packed into a smaller area, it requires more energy to maintain that structure, even while you are sitting on the couch. A 2024 clinical trial on basal metabolic rate found that individuals with high muscle density burn significantly more calories at rest than those with higher muscle volume but lower density. Furthermore, because this muscle is compact, you don't look bulky in clothes. You look lean, fit, and athletic. You've built a high-performance engine in a compact chassis. This is the secret to a sustainable metabolism, building a body that burns through calories not because it's large, but because it's high quality. It's a classic sight, the guy who looks small in a t-shirt but outlifts the biggest guy in the room. Why did gymnasts and Olympic weightlifters look relatively small in clothes but possess freakish, wiry strength? This comes down to two things: muscle fiber density and neuromuscular efficiency. Gymnasts and weightlifters train almost exclusively for myofibrillar hypertrophy and neural drive. They aren't trying to fill their muscles with water. They're trying to make every single fiber as powerful as possible. The wiry look is actually the look of a body that has optimized its strength to size ratio. Their nervous system is trained to recruit 90% of their available muscle fibers at once, whereas an untrained person might only recruit 50%. A 2025 study in sports medicine explained that stealth strength is a result of high-quality contractile protein paired with a highly tuned brain-to-muscle connection. It is the ultimate form of physical efficiency: all the power, none of the drag. We often separate muscles from joints, but the body doesn't see them that way. How does myofibrillar growth improve the structural integrity of your tendons, ligaments, and joints? When you lift heavy enough to trigger myofibrillar growth, you are also triggering a process called mechanotransduction in your connective tissues. Your tendons and ligaments are made of collagen, and they respond to high tension by becoming thicker and stronger. Because dense muscle provides a more stable and tighter support system around the joint, it reduces the shear force that causes injuries. A 2024 meta-analysis on injury prevention concluded that heavy resistance training was significantly more effective than stretching or mobility work alone for protecting joints. You are essentially building a biological suit of armor. When your muscle fibers are dense and your tendons are strong, your joints are no longer the weak link in the chain. You become resilient to the everyday aches and pains that plague the modern sedentary world. Finally, let's talk about the future. What is relative strength, and why is it the most important physical metric for longevity? Relative strength is simply how strong you are compared to your own body weight. Can you do a pull-up? Can you stand up from a deep squat without using your hands? Can you carry your own body weight for 50 yards? These are the tests of relative strength. In the medical community, we are seeing a massive shift toward using relative strength as a predictor of health span. A groundbreaking 2025 longitudinal study found that individuals with the highest relative strength in their 50s had a 50% lower risk of disability in their 80s. Why? Because as we age, we naturally lose muscle. If you have dense muscle with high relative strength, you have a massive buffer. You can lose a significant amount of strength and still be functional. If you only have puffy, fluid-based muscle, that strength vanishes quickly, leaving you vulnerable. Relative strength is the true measure of your biological age. It's not about how much you can lift. It's about how well you can move and control the only body you'll ever have. Here is the doctor's verdict: become dense. Building dense muscle isn't about vanity. It's about building a body that is a high-performance vehicle, not just a show car. It's about choosing steel over water, and choosing structural resilience over temporary volume. The path to myofibrillar hypertrophy requires patience, intensity, and a respect for the heavy weights. But the reward is a body that feels solid, moves with power, and carries a metabolism that works for you, not against you. You don't need to be a giant to be powerful. You just need to be dense. I want to hear from you. What's your favorite heavy lift for building that dense, hard muscle? Let's talk about it in the comments below. Stay strong, stay dense, and I'll see you in the next one. Watch this video suggestion, it was especially picked for you. Please share, comment, like the video, subscribe, and hit the bell icon. Thank you, it helps a ton with the algorithm. Remain tuned for future videos and keep growing.